Do you still recall the fairy tales you heard during your childhood? Stories about the Sandmen and magical beings dwelling in the skies. What if these tales were not mere fiction but actual inhabitants of the cosmos? Let's venture into the narrative of Moonbound to explore this notion. Meet Peter, an adventurous young lad with an unwavering passion for space exploration. Rooted in scientific beliefs, he stands in stark contrast to his younger sister, Anne. Anne is a dreamer, a soul steeped in the realm of fantasy and mythical creatures. Her heart brims with warmth as she fervently prays for her brother's aspirations to come true. Peter's dream is to follow in the footsteps of their father, a remarkable space scientist whose life was tragically cut short during a space mission. He never realized his own dream of setting foot on the moon. Yet, Peter's tale is not unique in its sorrow. Just beyond the walls of their home resides Zoomzuman, a tiny beetle. Once a content dweller among his swarm, Zoomzuman's life took a grim turn a few years ago. Love blossomed, and he was joined in wedded bliss, but happiness was soon shattered by a relentless group of farmers. In a violent onslaught, the farmers exterminated the bugs. Fleeing for his life, Zoomzuman faced a dire decision. To save his companions, he embarked on a desperate journey to seek aid from the elusive night fairy. Plunging into the depths of a moonlit lake, Zoomzuman's course was instantly altered. Propelled into the vast expanse of space, he encountered the night fairy. Through his plea, she was summoned back to his ravaged farm. Her intervention against the farmers led to an unintentional outcome. They were flung to the moon. Amidst this chaotic turn, Zoomzuman suffered a grievous loss. His arm, along with his beloved wife and the very farmers he sought to rescue, were cast away into the cosmic abyss. Tears streamed down Zoomzuman's face. His grief over the loss was profound. With a heavy heart, the night fairy offered her apologies, acknowledging her limitations in aiding him further. To rescue his wife, Zoomzuman had an arduous path ahead. He needed to find a compassionate human and journey alongside them to the moon. A year had passed since the tragic event, yet Zoomzuman's search for that exceptional individual remained fruitless. Amidst the mockery and disbelief of other insects, he clung to hope, his unwavering determination sustaining him. Fortunately, his wait was soon to conclude. Meanwhile, Peter, along with his mother and younger sister, had recently settled into the neighborhood. Eager to immerse himself in a new school and form friendships, Peter was hindered by his sister Anne's clumsiness. On their route to school, an encounter with local boys took an unpleasant turn. Their attempts at ridicule provoked Anne, who fervently extolled her brother's virtues. This escalating confrontation led the street boys to challenge Peter to harm a defenseless insect. However, Peter's innate kindness prevailed. He deliberately missed his shot, inadvertently striking a beehive that unleashed a furious swarm upon the bullies. Seizing the opportunity, Peter fled, harboring resentment toward Anne for her actions. In a twist of fate, the bug Peter had spared, Zoomzuman, sensed the presence of a kindred spirit. Ecstatic to discover such a human, he embarked on a flight toward Peter's residence. Making his way through the chimney, Zoomzuman's intrusion disrupted the peace of Anne's room, jolting her awake. And came face to face with the extraordinary talking beetle. Enraptured by Zoomzuman's tales, Anne hastens to rouse her slumbering brother. However, Peter remains skeptical, dismissing her words and going back to sleep. Undeterred by Peter's lack of belief, Anne resolves to embark on the adventure alone. With a daring leap through the window, she sets out in pursuit of Zoomzuman's trail. Soon realizing Anne's absence, Peter awakens and rushes to prevent his impulsive sister from venturing into peril. As Anne reaches the moonlit lake, she leaps into the reflection of the full moon, triggering panic in Peter. Desperate to rescue her, he searches for a solution. Abruptly, a torrent of water propels Anne skyward. Acting swiftly, Peter replicates her actions, hurtling himself into space. Amidst the journey, he encounters artificial satellites before descending into a realm of plush, billowing clouds. In this ethereal expanse, he encounters an elderly gentleman, the Sandman. Engaged in the task of lulling children to sleep punctually, the Sandman introduces himself. Astonishment fills Peter's gaze. He contemplates the situation as a dream. Despite his skepticism, he's resolute in his desire to save his sister. Meanwhile, Anne and Zoomzuman touch down in a distinct realm known as the Starry Meadow, a land seemingly extracted from fairy tales. The atmosphere's enchantment causes Zoomzuman to swell in size. Amidst this captivating panorama, a group of adorable girls strolls toward a structure. These are the shooting stars, bound for their educational institution. Upon graduation, they'll be paired with children, their lifelong companions. Anne listens, her heart buoyant with amusement, yet unaware that her joy is fleeting. Amidst rolling thunder, an unfamiliar village descends upon the Starry Meadow. Upon Peter and the Sandman's arrival, they are met with a scene of devastation. Only Zoom remains, recounting the abduction of the shooting stars, including Anne. With urgency, Peter must rescue his sister and return to Earth before sunrise. Failure would seal their fates in this realm. Examining the aftermath, the Sandman discovers several moonstones, a pivotal clue indicating the girl's capture. Recalling the malicious farmers who were banished by the Night Fairy years ago, it becomes evident that they are responsible for the heinous act. They've subjected the innocent girls to torment at the hands of eerie moon poodles. In the meantime, the Sandman hastens to restore his damaged vehicle, utilizing a modest touch of magic. Soon, the sleigh is transformed into a pristine state. With the summoning of colossal butterflies, they embark on a journey towards the moon. However, landing on the lunar surface necessitates the Night Fairy's authorization, though she is currently engrossed in a grand feast attended by nature spirits. Despite being a nature spirit himself, the Sandman's participation in the banquet hinges on triumphing in the Milky Way race, a contest against fellow spirits. Pressing on with haste, the Sandman's sleigh traverses milestones like the Parmesan Desert and the Great Canyon, with the wind spirit, Storms, leading the race. Having clinched victory the previous year, the Sandman's confidence falters this time, as fortune seems to have abandoned his side. In the midst of the race, the spirit of rain surges ahead, but the spirit of lightning trails closely behind. With a thunderous strike, lightning overtakes rain and secures the lead. The Sandman perseveres, seeking a chance to claim a spot within the top three. Just as victory seems within reach, an unexpected twist occurs. He suddenly succumbs to slumber, prompting panic in Peter. Frustrated, Peter implores Zoom for assistance, but the beetle feigns lifelessness, unwilling to aid. Despite Peter's efforts, their endeavor ends in failure, and they're ousted from the race, leaving others to advance to the banquet. Despite the series of misfortunes, Peter remains determined to meet the Night Fairy and seek her permission. Upon reaching the palace entrance, they face resistance from the guards. Employing a pinch of the Sandman's magical sand, Peter induces sleep in one guard, yet access remains elusive. Undeterred, they forge an alternate path. Peter ascends the trees, trailed by Zoom and the Sandman. A second guard approaches, only to be fended off by Peter's adept ball throw, saving their progression. Utilizing the branches, they ascend toward a window, overcoming Zoom's fear of heights as he rediscovers his ability to fly. Inside, the banquet unfolds, attended by a congregation of guests, and presided over by the Night Fairy herself. Peter observes this spectacle from the window. Eager for a glimpse, Zoom shoves Peter, inadvertently causing them to tumble into the banquet. The Lightning Witch contemplates punishment, but the Night Fairy's compassion prevails. Attuned to Peter's plea, she comprehends the situation and grants permission for their moonbound journey. Further assistance arrives in the form of the Night Fairy's devoted companion, the Great Bear, an immense and formidable ally. Meanwhile, within the realm of the shooting stars, a clever ruse is enacted, allowing them to outwit their captors and break free from the factory's clutches. Their progress is stymied by the relentless moon poodles, but Anne's resourceful backup plan involves tossing stones as distractions, allowing them the chance to escape. Yet, a mishap leads to Anne's tumble into a moonlit hall, where a lengthy slide deposits her into the clandestine lair of the enigmatic Moonman. Intriguingly, the Lightning Witch, despite her status as a nature spirit, maintains an association with this malevolent character. Their objective is dire: to annihilate the Night Fairy's palace and cede control of the universe to the Moonman. Progress toward this malicious scheme is steady, with the imminent completion of the moon cannon that would confer the destructive power needed for their nefarious aspirations. Meanwhile, the Lightning Witch dutifully informs the Moonman of recent developments, including Anne's escape and Peter's impending arrival. An eerie delight fills her as she anticipates reuniting with her brother and devising a strategy to thwart the Moonman's ominous agenda. Within the hidden cavern, Anne unexpectedly encounters Zoom's wife, whose ardent longing for reunion with her spouse tugs at Anne's heartstrings. But there's little time for sadness. The Moonman's schemes persist as his henchmen are dispatched to recapture Anne. Simultaneously, Peter readies himself for his mission. Bestowed with amulets by the nature spirits, he gains the ability to summon their aid when needed. Mounted atop the Great Bear, the trio embarks on their journey, leaping from colossal stone to colossal stone. Glide through a celestial path, Peter and his companions deflect obstructing meteors, arriving on the moon's surface. This poignant moment invokes memories of Peter's late father, and he recognizes this venture as a testament to his father's dream. Urgency compels him to hasten toward Moon Mountain, where his imperiled sister awaits. On the moon's terrain, the Moonman has successfully corralled the shooting stars, seeking Anne's identity among them. Though the sweet shooting stars strive to intervene, Anne is apprehended. The Moon Man confines Anne and Zoom Zooman's wife within a prison, simultaneously keeping a vigilant watch over Peter. He commands his henchmen, deploying moon poodles to repel the intruders. The Sandman lulls one poodle into slumber, but the onslaught proves overwhelming. Advised by Peter, the group seeks refuge within an aged spaceship adjacent to them. Concealed from view, they remain hidden as the kidnappers depart with the moon poodles in pursuit. Zoom Zooman and the Sandman activate the spaceship, contemplating escape, leaving behind the others to save themselves. In the face of defeat, sadness engulfs Peter. The predicament mirrors his life, bullied at school like Zoom Zooman among the insects, and the Sandman's stature diminished by nature spirits. All three have grappled with feelings of inadequacy, but this opportunity represents their chance to prove their worth. Peter's rallying words inspire his comrades, fortifying their resolve to persevere. Encountering an electric car, they seize it, navigating the moon's expanse. Armed with a fiddle, Zoom Zooman plays a familiar tune. Mrs. Zoom Zooman recognizes the melody, harmonizing with her harmonica. The harmony guides them, and they progress toward Anne's location. However, the car's brakes malfunction, and it propels them directly into the prison where Anne is confined. Following years of separation, the reunited Beetle couple rejoices at their reunion, and Anne finds solace in meeting her long-lost brother. While Peter desires a swift return to Earth, Anne's commitment to safeguarding the universe from the malevolent Moon Man prevails. With the moon cannon primed and the poodles assembled, a dire situation unfolds. Seeking assistance, Peter summons the nature spirits, who answer his call save for the storm. Zoom Zooman and his spouse divert the Lightning Witch's attention, permitting Peter to race towards the cannon controls. The Sandman and Anne edge closer to the shooting stars, but once more, the Sandman succumbs to slumber at this crucial juncture. Compounded by the capture of the Rainy Robin and the entrapment of other nature spirits, Peter becomes the sole agent of change. Reaching the cannon controls, Peter is confronted by the Moon Man's warning to stay away. The Moon Man presents a sinister offer, inviting Peter to become his son and join forces. In response, Peter formulates a shrewd plan. He inquires about the advantages of this alliance for both the Moon Man and the Lightning Witch. Through this interrogation, Peter coerces the Moon Man to reveal his intentions truthfully. Admitting his exploitation of the Lightning Witch, the Moon Man's revelation is overheard by her, kindling her fury. Swiftly, she traps the Moon Man within the Thunderdome. Yet, despite her intervention, the moon cannon is fired. The tension mounts as everyone watches, but fortune favors them. By a hair's breadth, the missile misses its mark, sparing the Night Fairy's palace. Although safe, her rage remains palpable. She journeys to the moon, enacting punishment upon the Moon Man. He's banished to Mars for his treachery. The Lightning Witch, too, faces consequences for her disloyalty, enduring a 2-month suspension of her thunderous powers. As an additional penalty, she relinquishes her amulet to Peter, enabling him to summon assistance as needed. In a gesture of restitution, the Night Fairy restores Zoom Zooman's lost arm and returns his treehouse to Earth. The Sandman, appreciative of Peter and Anne's valiant efforts, ushers them into slumber. When they awaken in their room, they initially believe the entire adventure was a mere dream. However, the presence of the Lightning Witch's amulet and a reunion with Zoom Zooman confirm the reality of their lunar journey. Now equipped with the Lightning Witch's amulet, they face the neighborhood bully anew. Empowered by their newfound ally, they stand resilient against the taunts. The experience's lesson becomes evident. Greatness doesn't hinge on strength alone, but on the courage to undertake monumental challenges. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more interesting movies.